How to worship Cthulhu. Now, I've talked about this a lot one-on-one with people. It's briefly mentioned in our unholy book, the Necronomicon, and we've covered it a lot in the Facebook group. But I ran across a few people recently who are suffering from a sad kind of madness, as opposed to a fun Lovecraftian kind of madness. They have no mind of their own. One has been kicked out of 4 different covens. They are the bad definition of the mindless follower. They can't think for themselves. They have to be told what to do and how to do it in every aspect of their life. I consider most of you more as members of the First United Church of Cthulhu. You do not have to agree with me on my opinions or practices. I prefer to have critical thinkers in our congregation. That way, we can come together with all these different viewpoints and maybe try to figure out just a little bit more about the true nature of our reality. Now, I've had my share of what in the old days would be called visions. Some natural and some induced, if you will. I talk about them in the Necronomicon. Maybe they were hallucinations. Maybe they were waking dreams created by an overabundance of endogenous DMT in my brain. Maybe I have an acute psychosis like Lovecraft's father. Maybe that swirling black vortex was Yog-Sothoth like it said it was. So I don't knock or discount anyone else's similar experiences. But the first thing you need to remember is our main tenet of cosmic indifference. Cthulhu does not care about us. So for those people who claim to have summoned Cthulhu and bound him to do their bidding, I don't know what you talked to, but it wasn't Cthulhu. That's a very Anton LaVey style of bullshit. And you should maybe go research trickster spirits before your next contact. And I'll put a link to our video called Is Magic Real?, which details things like the theoretical physics of higher dimensions, wave function collapse, dark energy, quantum entanglement, and other related topics. This video and that one go hand in hand. So back to the mindless followers. These people were upset because I didn't give them exact instructions on how to worship Cthulhu. I've always said to gather your friends together, form your own group, and do what works best for you, because you will be a better judge than I of what your local members want and need from the church. But these people wanted me to tell them, for example, to kill 6 goats with an obsidian blade under a 3-wolf moon in October, upon a natural altar built of rocks from the bottom of a stagnant pond. But that's not how it works. That's not how any of it works. And they also get real mad that we only have one official holy day, August 20th, Lovecraft's birthday. But you are more than welcome to celebrate as many or as little other holy days as you like. We are down with anything that involves eating, drinking, or gift giving. The Cthulhu mythos is a pantheon, and no one has to give up their currently held belief system or practices. We celebrate Halloween and the other Sabbats. Our version of Christmas is Cuthmas, hard to say but fun to attend. Solstices, equinoxes. Some members really love the planetary alignments. We have a Pastafarian ceremonial dinner every January 4th, which is National Spaghetti Day. We created Hangover, which is a Dudist holiday. The Discordians are always celebrating something and looking to party. For lack of a better term, we have numerous members who follow different pagan paths and still honor those traditions as well. Krampusnacht, Rex Manning Day, and sometime during the last week of December, we hold a whiskey vigil for Lemmy. See, I hate dogma. That's the reason the majority of all the wars throughout human history have been fought. You pray to the wrong God, you must die. Or you pray the wrong way to our same God, you must die. We already get a ton of edgelords who come into the Facebook group and like to scream at everyone, "You're worshiping the dark gods wrong! Motherfucker! You come in here and tell me I'm doing it wrong? I'll kill you!" See? That's what happens. I could have saved myself a ton of trouble and just said, smoke DMT and ask Cthulhu yourself. But that's kind of a shitty answer for those seeking enlightenment. So I'm not going to tell you how to worship Cthulhu, but I will tell you all the spiritual paths that myself and others have taken that work for them, so that you can find the ways that work for you. And you really should go watch that other video I talked about. Now for me, the greatest thing in life is music. especially live shows. If you believe in the spiritual theory that you get to choose when and where you were born upon this planet, I came down here at the perfect moment in time. Rock and roll had grown from its infancy into a hell-bent rebellious teen. High-quality recordings were finally achieved. I had the history of music behind me and got to be here for the splintering of genres and the creations of new music and instruments. I was here for the rise and fall of the record industry. You can argue that the 90s didn't have the best music, but we had the most. It was everywhere and everything. It was the defining element of Gen X. I've been in the local arts and music scene my entire life. As soon as I got my driver's license, the first place I went was Zia Records. My friends and I cleared out the flyer rack and went and found our first local show a week later. And you know what? That band of high school metalheads, Pelvic Meatloaf, are still around today. But the mid-2000s were the best times of my life. So far. Going out to shows and events 5 nights a week, have a few drinks, dance and jump around like idiots with your friends, listen to some of the greatest musicians that the world will never hear. The bar, the club, that was our church. The music was our religion. And in those perfect moments, you will have a spiritual transcendence. You will become one with the universe. You will talk to God. Or maybe that's just me. I've met people who actually hate music. One guy was even a drummer in an 80s cover band, and he hated music. Those days are gone. But the one thing I took away from all of it, what really matters, was the community that we created. We had the same passions. We had the same dreams. We spoke the same language that normies didn't understand. We are the weirdos, mister. When you look at it from that perspective, musicians are cultists. And that's what we're doing with the First United Church of Cthulhu. We're building a community of like-minded weirdos. When my friends and I greet each other or express a moment of joy with the phrase, Cthulhu Fhtagn, there is a sincerity and bond that goes with it. And there are so many other ways that can bring us together and lift us up. Sure, I prefer sex, drugs, and rock and roll, but there is also meditation, prayer, yoga, dance, martial arts, extreme sports, and other adrenaline-pumping activities. Athletes call it being in the zone, but in metaphysical circles they call it being in the flow. And there is a science behind it, and it is another form of transcendence. There is ritual and magic at midnight, and you little chaos mage wankers know what I'm talking about. And films, and of course, horror stories and other weird fiction. And humor, and laughter, and Discordian nonsense. And of course, gaming, whether online, or on the couch, or together at a table. I know for a fact we have members that have been gaming with the same group of friends for decades. It's not church on Sunday, it's gaming on Saturday night. Or playing with your kids or your pets. These are life. These are God. These are the memories that you will take with you into the black abyss. So you see, there are countless spiritual paths that you can take to find your own enlightenment, and I guarantee you, once you've found it, you will find yourself and your purpose and a few friends along the way. Until next time, Cthulhu Fhtagn.